read a little bit of this. This is the sequel to Jack Wakes Up, as Gravity said, which came out a little while ago. It takes place in San Francisco. As the Mercedes comes out of the Caldecott Tunnel through the Oakland Hills, headed toward the bay, Freeman grunts and starts shaking his head. He carefully slides his hand underneath his long hair, then cradles the back of his neck in his palm and massages. Jack sees another tattoo at the top of his shoulder coming out of his shirt. He turns to look through the windshield, waiting for the familiar San Francisco skyline. The two of them have been quiet for more than 15 minutes, and Jack knows the big Samoan will talk when he's ready. What's up with the girl, Jack? You know how a girl like that ends up in this city? I should say that on my website I do a lot of audio stuff, podcasts that I release my stuff for free, and I do voices with that I don't do in public. No, I can't. What's up with the girl, Jack? You know how a girl like that ends up in this city? What type of shit she gets into? Jack shakes his head. Slavery. Buying and selling of people, Jack. Here in San Francisco. You spend enough time in North Beach like I have, and you know. Ownership, Jack. That plus someone with power in the city is protecting you. You sure you're ready to get into that? Jack watches the trees, thinks back to being on the road with the checks, and the rush of feeling as if his life were in his hands. The bike put him out there on the edge, something he never felt when he was trying to get himself clean, reading and hitting the gym. Back then it was more about what he didn't do than what he did. Yeah, he says. I want to know what happened and how she ended up where she did. I want to know who sent O'Malley after me. These guys don't play, Jack. You see how they killed her? They slit her throat. I saw the pictures. As they come out of the hills, Jack can see the lights of downtown Oakland, and beyond that, the Bay Bridge. If someone put down big cash on this girl, that person will be pissed when she's dead. The Kekovich don't have penny ante clients. It could mean he's ready to take issue with a big player. And now there's a second girl? Freeman shakes his head and whistles. That could mean he's going after something big, like he wants something. I'm starting to wonder if I shouldn't just drop your ass off downtown and opt out of this shit. What? Jack turns to Freeman, tries to read his face. Now you're the one who's thinking too much. Are you serious? This is big. Jack takes out his cigarettes. Freeman's eyes dart toward Jack's hands, and he's already lowering the window before Jack has one out of the pack. You smoke, that window comes down. Jack lights up. The first drag slows him down and gives him a new outlook on what he sees through the windshield. They're not just heading into the city. They're plowing straight into a world of trouble. When they get to the Embarcadero, Jack calls Hopkins from the coffee shop like he's supposed to. He orders an espresso and downs it, heads outside to wait. Caffeine is Jack's rush now. Not like the woozy down from alcohol or the incredible heights he got from the Colombian marching powder. It's caffeine, a cigarette to smooth it out, and Jack's in the life. That's his high. After a few minutes, Hopkins rounds the corner, still wearing the same old-fashioned Panama hat he probably thinks makes him look like a real cop. That, or he's old enough to be from the school where people actually wore them. Jack comes around to the idea of the second, ditches his cigarette when Hopkins gets close. Where the fuck you been? I've been waiting to show you the scene already. Freeman stands up to his full height from leaning against the car and gives Hopkins a hard stare. Who the fuck is this? Hopkins points his chin at the big Samoan. This is my backup, Jack says. He's on your payroll too. That's great. I get the fucking USA All-Stars, an actor and a New York jet. That'll keep you too low profile. Jack starts to say something, but Hopkins beats him to it. Come on, fuck it. He points at Freeman. And you stay here. Freeman waves it off with an I'm good and heads around the back of the car to wait inside. Judging by the look on his face, he's happier the farther he stays from the police. As they head up the block, Hopkins takes off his hat and hands it to Jack. Wear this. The fewer people who recognize you, the better. I've got a couple of questions about the shooting. Did you know someone put a .50 caliber slug through that car? No, but that sure explains what happened to O'Malley's head. Hopkins points towards the next perpendicular street, and they make a turn around the corner. When they do, Jack sees twin light towers illuminating the scene of the police investigation. The yellow tape, a few onlookers, the whole 9 yards. In the middle of it all is a maroon four-door Chevy. I saw the Mustang in impound. It has a hole in the roof you could put your arm through. Same for the door. Hopkins takes his eyes off their destination for a second to check Jack's look, and Jack puts on the hat, pulls it down over his eyebrows. Hopkins holds up the yellow tape for him to enter. I hear you, Jack, but I think what I'm about to show you is worse. He holds up his badge to the first cop in dress uniform he sees and says forensics. He's our blood spatter expert, when the guy points his head at Jack. Hopkins directs Jack toward the car. We got a call about 2 hours ago. Somebody sees a girl inside a parked car. She's not moving. Doesn't have clothes on. Doesn't look good. We get down here and find this. Now these guys are checking the car for prints. At least we'll get to investigate this one, I hope. Where's the girl? Come on. Hopkins walks toward a big dark blue police truck. In the back of the truck, a gurney supports a body covered by a blanket. Hopkins climbs in and motions for Jack to follow. Inside, he lifts the blanket off the girl's head. She's as young as the first girl. Blonde where the first was brunette, but with skin just as white, like she never spent a day in the sun. She's practically translucent, glowing. Her blonde hair falls around her face thick with dark red blood. The blood looks like it ran up from her neck, over her face and into her hair, where it's dried in clumps, though some of it still looks wet. She's clean from the neck down, except for a few dark bruises around her shoulders. Her neck is the most shocking, gaping open, as if someone had tried to cut her head off with a saw.